gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to be invited for this online international conference and exhibition, India Construction Week 2020. So my presentation will be on post-COVID-19 concrete technology, new normal and the best practice in Singapore. My name is Mr. Lu Jinping. I'm president of American Concrete Institute, Singapore chapter. I'm also managing director of Materials Technologies Private Limited. So we are actually a testing laboratories for construction. Let me start from COVID-19 situation in Singapore. The first cases of COVID-19 in Singapore was on 23rd January. So this was a 66 years old Chinese national who came to visit Singapore. So you can see from the graph, actually from March to April until May, early May, the cases of COVID-19 infected people advanced very rapidly. So government announced for circuit break on 7 April until 1st June. This is a circuit break period. So you can so far until now, total we have until 23rd November 2020, we have about 58,148 cases and 28 people is died because of COVID-19. So even until now, you can see here only on 20 August 2020, so all migrant workers' dorms declared clear of COVID-19. Only on April, even after the circuit break lift down on 1st January, means almost 2 months later, so all migration worker dorms are cleared and that allow them to return to work. So now let's move to COVID-19 impact on Singapore. What is the impact? You can see Singapore's GDP for the first half of year minus 6.7%. Construction industry shrank by 54.7% year to year in quarter 2 2020. You can see we shrunk more than half. So construction demand also expected to drop from 28 to 33 billion, become now 18 to 23 billion this year. So number of unemployed local residents is almost about 110,000. So construction projects also disruption. We have more than 4,000 sites stopped during the circuit period. Until now, some of the projects they haven't started. So COVID-19 outbreak at the dormitory affect about more than 300,000 foreign workers. They are locked down in the dormitory for more than 4 months. So global supply chain also disruption, cash flow also problem. So we have to comply all these additional COVID compliance costs. The cost also increase. So you can see eventually the cost of construction will rising. But fortunately, Singapore government give the industry strong support. For example, they give a manpower cost support for job support scheme from January 2020 to March 2021. So the company will receive 75% to 35% salary subsidized from government, but only for local employees. So for foreign workers, levy also waived 100% to 25% from June 2020 to December 2020. So foreign workers levy rebate every month $750 to $90 we are giving from June 2020 to December 2020. For business cost support, you can defer income tax payment. You also will receive property tax rebate. You can waive renter and defer increase in government fees and the charges. So enhanced bank loan scheme, actually you can now have a so-called COVID-19 loan from bank quite easily. So government also pay the compliance cost support. For example, for workers swab test, government will pay the full cost until early next year. Now, let's move to how to apply for list start of construction projects. You can see at the previous slides, most of jobs, more than 4,000 project sites are stopped during the COVID-19. So now, slowly, you can apply for list start of all these project sites. But you have to follow the guideline by bidding and the construction authority. So here's some steps you can apply for list of the work. First step, you have to check that your project meets COVID-19 safe list criteria. So basically, you have to check first is your workers' accommodation. Where should workers be staying? There are few options, almost 6 options. You have to, every options, you need to check whether the accommodation meets the government requirements. So 2B, transportation. So your workers, how can they come from dormitory to workplace? You need to arrange transportation. Mostly for construction site, you have to arrange dedicated transport because also workers are not allowed to take public transport. For the work site, so you need to plan safe management measures for the site. Means you need to appoint at least one safety management officer. You may need some safety distancing officer. So depending on the size of workers. So for the construction site, you also have to clearly demarcated work zones. So every zone, the worker cannot mingling. You cannot go from this zone to other zones. So different movement control plan for different type of works. So you cannot mix them together. So you have to clear sanitization and the hand washing point for all the workers. You can see all workers have different hammer or clothes, so you can distinguish each other. So for the workers, so they have to download 3 apps. One is Trace Together, second is SG Work Pass, third is Foreign Worker MOM Care. So you have to check the apps whether it's in green color. If only in green color, they are allowed to enter the construction site. Okay, so you also have to educate your workers on COVID safe practice. You have to arrange work for the accommodation. Let's say you have any updating, you have to inform MOM. So after that, you go to step 2, apply to BCA for list start work. So this one actually you can apply from online. So very simple, very easy, right? So owner have to submit application before work can start. So after obtain BCA approval to start work, what should I do? You have to book of swab test for your workers. So this swab test have to be done not only one time, every 2 weeks. You have to send your worker for test. So workers also cannot rest on the same day. They have to stagger rest day. So means not work all not all work can rest on Sunday. They have to, distribute in weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. So step 3, you have to implement safe management measures. So you have to regularly do in-house site audit and inspection. So you have to follow all these checking. Check your works whether it's green color, whether keeps a safe distance, whether have any contaminant. Okay, these are some examples, good examples on the site. Whether you have to segregate entrance and exits, safe distancing markings, clear zoning plan, and the SMO, SDO details you have to post it. So temperature monitoring and the safe distancing induction every day, and the individual pre-packed meal means all workers cannot go canteen or cannot cook. So you have to give pre-packed meals. So, what is a new normal in construction? After starts a construction work, so you have to maintain the safe management. So you have to maintain safe work management system, containment, site zone, and demarcation work team purpose. So decongestion, so safe living, safe transport, safe work, and safe rest. So contact tracing and isolation. So you need to make sure safe entry, contact tracing, swapping, registration, isolation, SOP, etc. So next, we have to use to teleworking or telecommunication. Digitalization now is a trend for all industries, not only construction. So you also have to establish business continuity planning, or we call building resilience. So list start work SOP. So basically you need to follow BCA's good practice guide. You can see here's some example of the new normal for construction. You see, they are actually published by Minister of Trade and Industry. There are 7 key requirements for safe management at the workplace. So you have to follow and check the 7 key requirements. So at the right hand side is teleworking. Means all the meetings, trainings are conducted virtually or by remote. So you can see this is a project competition organized by ACSM chapter this year. So we are no more have the chance to meet together, at least at this moment. So sometimes we also have difficulties back to office, but it's so hard. So some people are used or happy working at home. They are reluctant to return to the workplace. So this we also have to convince and make sure they are happy, they are safe at the workplace, so that they are can go back to office. Okay. So how about concrete technology? We also have to adopt the new normal, right? As I mentioned before, we are facing the challenges in Singapore, global supply chain disruptions, because you see Singapore is a no resources country. We have to import all raw materials like cement, sand, aggregate, steel. So almost everything we are imported. So now we no more. For concrete, so definitely need aggregate, we need sand. But now no more. Very difficult to get. We have shortage of sand. So we have to thinking some other locally available materials. For example, we have to thinking recycle concrete aggregate, quarry dust to replace natural sand. So IBA, incineration bottom ash from concrete. So below is a project research project we are currently undertaking to study how to use quarry dust to replace natural sand. This you can see different fines content and different replace level. We can see that actually walkability means slum actually is not much affected even if we use even 100% and the fines content as high as 22%. So walkability still can comparable to natural sand. Even for water permeability, for example, for this grade 50 concrete, actually granite dust concrete is better than natural sand, right? So this is also carbonation depth. So you can see actually natural sand and the granite dust concrete. Natural sand, granite dust concrete is better than natural sand. This is a part of our research results. I just want to share with all of you. So next one is a digitalization, artificial intelligence for lattice concrete. So this AR checks all movement of raw materials and products, the arrival of imported raw materials in Singapore, the transportation of these ingredients to silos, and from silos to plant where concrete is made, and the transportation of concrete to work site. All this can be traced. So this can also optimize the use of plants, trucks, manpower, and the raw materials via collecting data and handling orders. So use this system, we can save at least 45% manpower. Again, this is one of our leading lattice concrete supplier, Pan United Concrete. They actually already implement UC system and even sign an MOU with a South Korea company to help them to set up this system. So that's innovation of concrete technology. So smart concrete mixing system control concrete consistency even as mixer trucks move from the batching plant to project site. Enable fix to the concrete mix to be made remotely. Reportedly improves the consistency of product quality and thus away with the needs of quality accessors and the product technicians to test each truck's output while on site. So another one for innovation is self-compacting concrete. They can reduce manpower, productivity can increase by 75%, casting time can reduce by 40%. So this is one of the paper, again from Pan United. You can see you use innovation, use high technology, actually you can save manpower and save costs. So the conclusion, the number of COVID-19 cases in the community in Singapore has been decreased from the low single digit to none in the past weeks. But it is not a return to the pre-COVID status quota. It will entail new ways of working and living until the world has the virus under tight control. It is critical to adhere to the safe work management measures. So digital transformation will help us stay ahead in the new normal.